Well, good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? It's good to have you join me this beautiful Wednesday morning for Coffee with the Pastor. I got a new cup here to show you. It says, I know you see it backwards, but it's a bass fish, and it says, eat, sleep, drink, go fishing. Can you see this cup? So you guys got to do me a favor. Oh, it says that on this side here. And let me see on this side. Oh, it says the same thing on both sides. So you got to do me a favor, would you? Many of you know Mary Beth at our church, and I don't think that Mary Beth has internet or a computer and is able to watch this broadcast, but she gave me this coffee cup on Sunday. And so do me a favor. I think it would mean a lot to her. Tell her, if you see her on Sunday, say, Pastor Jeff showed everybody your coffee cup that you gave him. And he used it live on his Facebook broadcast. And I think you guys know it would mean a lot to Mary Beth that I showed everybody the coffee cup that she gave me on Sunday. And so do me a favor and mention it to her that I mentioned her fishing coffee cup today, would you? Okay, everybody grab a sip real quick. All right. So this morning we are on part 9 of our series, and we're looking at the letter to the church in Philadelphia. And most commentators call the nickname for the church in Philadelphia is a favored church. And it's in chapter 3, verses 7 through 13. So let me read the whole letter, and then I'll make my commentary on it. To the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, these are the words of him who is holy and true, who holds the key of David. What he opens, no one can shut, and what he shuts, no one can open. Don't we say that phrase a lot? He says, I know your deeds. See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. And I know that you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. I will make those who are of the synagogue of Satan, who claim to be Jews, though they are not, but are liars, I will make them come and fall down at your feet and acknowledge that I have loved you. Since you have kept my command to endure patiently, I will also keep you from the hour of trial that is going to come on the whole world to test the inhabitants of the earth. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I am coming soon. Hold on to what you have so that no one will take your crown. The one who is victorious, I will make a pillar in the temple of my God. Never again will they leave it. I will write on them the name of my God and the name of the city of my God, the New Jerusalem, which is coming down out of heaven from my God. And I will also write on them my new name. We're going to talk about this. Whoever has ears, let them hear what the Spirit says to the churches. So, let me give you a little history of the church in Philadelphia. So, it should be obvious to all of us that as we look at every single one of these churches, since they were all in the country of Turkey, which is kind of shaped that way and goes, east to west long ways, on the Mediterranean, and all of these churches were in kind of a circle, and some of them were near the coast. And obviously, the church here faced very similar influences and very similar pressures and similar problems as the other Christian churches did at this time. Yet, this is the only letter of the 7 letters to the churches. This is the only letter that did not include any correction from Jesus at all. So he was not getting on their case in this letter. It was all praise. It was all, you're doing a good job. It was all, keep it up, keep your chin up. And that's why it was called the favored church, because it really only offered encouragement and promise to the people of the church, to the pastor of the church. So Philadelphia, the city, was not in Pennsylvania. Okay, we're talking about a different Philadelphia here. So Philadelphia was located in Turkey on the Kagamus River, about 105 miles east of Smyrna, and we talked about Smyrna, and 25 miles southeast of Sardis. And the church here and the city here was one of the newer of the cities and the churches that were founded in the what they called, Asia Minor, or what we call Turkey today. And so they were not an old established church, but they were a new church compared to the others. It's interesting to note, and everybody knows this, that this name Philadelphia means brotherly love. Now, what's interesting to learn is we talk about our modern day city of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania, and we call it the city of brotherly love, but we don't know why, because no one ever bothers to research the history. So back in this day and time, King Attalus, and that's Attalus, King Attalus II, it got its name because it was given in honor of him, because of his loyalty to his older brother, the king of Lydia, Eumenes II. And so history says that these two brothers, I guess I would look at it like the relationship that I have with my brother Jim. And most people know that my brother and I are 11 months and 4 days apart. We were both born in 1958. He was born January 18th, 1958. I was born December 22nd, 1958. We're both born in the same year. For a few days, we are the same age, but he is my older brother. And typically, if I don't talk to my brother Jim on the phone, we will text each other short, snarky words. We like to call each other names and tease each other during the middle of the day, which in secret means, hey bro, I love you, miss you today, I hope you're having a good day. And and I think everybody would know that I am loyal to my brother Jim, just like I am my sister Kim, but I'm loyal to my brother Jim, and he's loyal to me. And so what they're saying is these two kings they had such a good relationship. They had love for each other, like I do for my brother and sister, and that it was well known that in spite of their power, in spite of the fact that they, were both very important people, they loved one another deeply, and they respected and honored each other. So that is why the city got its name, because of the leaders. And see, we always think, the city of Philadelphia is called the city of brotherly love because everybody there loves each other. No, that's not it. It was because the leaders, the story. So you should research it and check it out. It's interesting. And sometimes the city of Philadelphia was called the Little Athens because, Athens, Greece, because of the magnificent, can't talk this morning, the greatness of the buildings and the temples that were there and the public buildings that were there. They had just this amazing Greek architecture. At least I can say that word this morning. They had this amazing Greek architecture there, and they just say the city was just gorgeous. The buildings were beautiful. And so it was called Little Athens. Philadelphia was a very important and a very wealthy city. It was a wealthy trade center. And as the cities along the coast declined, Philadelphia grew in power and retained its importance even hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years later. Is it so funny that in today's world, it's the cities on the coast that are the largest. And if you think about it, Miami, Jacksonville, Tampa, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia is on the water. New York, you think about this. Boston, you go up north, Chicago, right on the Great Lakes. Go around the coast, Mobile. You look at Houston, right by the coast. New Orleans, right on the coast. Los Angeles, San Diego, Seattle. It's just funny that as you look at countries now around the world, it's the coast where things are more important, and there's no declining, there's only growth, where back then it was just the opposite. So then we see the greeting as we break it down, where he said, "These are the words of him who is holy and true, who holds the key of David. What he opens, no one can shut, and what he shuts, no one can open." So basically, to me, this is Jesus making a very bold statement to the church. And when he tells them, "I am holy and true," what God is saying is, I want you to know I am faithful, the word true, and I'm reliable. What I say, you can take it to the bank. How many of you know whenever God said something in his word, or if he speaks it to you, how many of you know we can take his word to the bank? You can trust and have faith in him. And he's letting them know, guys, I am coming soon. And when I do come, I'm going to act forcefully. I'm going to act firmly. I'm going to act authoritatively. And no one is going to interfere in what I'm going to do. And this is almost a direct quote Jesus uses here from Isaiah chapter 22, verse 22. And then he gives them their commendation, what they did good. It's a military word. Military, they give you commendations. And he says, "I know your deeds. See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut." Wouldn't we all like to have that said to us about our life, our businesses, our ministry, everything that we want to do, that God says, hey, it's an open door and no one is going to shut it. And you know what? Basically, he has. He says, "I know that you have little strength, but you've kept my word and not denied my name." And the main thought here is the fact that Jesus knew their works, and he knew that they had been an influential church, that they had been doing a good job. They lived for Jesus. They kept his word. They had not denied his name during persecution. And even though it doesn't say they were persecuted, they probably, just like all the other cities and the other churches, they probably, the Christians that were there, had some issues from time to time with being persecuted. But because of their steadfastness, Jesus tells them that he has set before them an open door for preaching, for ministry, for some kind of missionary activity. And this is what he was talking about. "I have set an open door before you, and no one is going to close it. I'm going to open doors of ministry for you." And then he gives them the promise, and he says, "I will make those who are of the synagogue of Satan, who claim to be Jews, though they are not, but are liars, I will make them come and fall down at your feet and acknowledge that I have loved you. Since you have kept my command to endure patiently, I will also," and this is what I want to talk about this for a second, "I will also keep you from the hour of trial that is going to come on the whole world to test those who live on the earth. I am coming soon. Hold on to what you have so that no one will take your crown." I'm going to talk about that here. "He who overcomes, I will make a pillar in the temple of my God. Never again will he leave it. I will write on him the name of my God and the name of the city of my God, the New Jerusalem, which is coming down out of heaven from my God. And I will also write on him my new name. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches." Okay, I need a sip of coffee. And don't forget, if you join me late, I got this Sunday from Mary Beth at the church, and I said, do me a favor, mention to her that I mentioned this coffee cup on my broadcast, because it would mean a lot to Mary Beth to know that I did that. So just do me that favor. So I look at these verses as an incredible promise for the church. an incredible promise for you and me, because look what he's going to do. He says, number one, I'm going to make your enemies fall down before you. I'm going to take care of you. And then number two, he promises to keep the church at Philadelphia. I believe what he's talking about is from the Great Tribulation, the worst 7 years that mankind will ever know. When he says, I will also keep you from the hour of trial that is going to come on the whole world to test those who live on the earth. Now, you can't say, people cannot say, oh, he's only talking about something that's going to happen back then. No, it says the whole world. And we know that this is the Great Tribulation. And I would just say to you that this is just another verse that I use whenever I talk about our pre-trib, mid-trib, post-tribulation rapture view, why we are, and I am, a pre-tribulation rapture view person that believes that the rapture will happen before the tribulation starts, is because of verses like this, because of the promise that he gave the church here, that they would not have to go through the worst 7 years that mankind will ever know. And so he tells them, number three, he tells them, expect this to happen soon. Now we know it's already been a couple of thousand years and it hasn't happened yet. But you know, what's true is they lived every day of their life believing that today could be the day. And can I tell you guys that you and I should be doing the same? We should be living our life like the fact that at 6 o'clock tonight, Jesus is coming back and it's over. And we should be living every day like that. And then Jesus warns them, this is the other promise that he's going to do. He warns them to hold on tight and to keep a grip on their salvation, because it is possible to lose it or to let someone talk you out of it. And that's why he says, hold on to what you have so that no one will take your crown. So here's my question to people who say, oh, well, we're Calvinists, we're once saved, always saved. If it's not possible for you to lose your crown, which he's talking about your salvation, if it's not possible for you to lose your crown, then why would Jesus tell them, grab onto it, hold on to what you have, keep it up so that no one can take you? If it's not possible, why would he warn them to not let it happen? You see what I'm saying? And whenever you see verses like that, he's just saying, guys, don't let anybody talk you out of your salvation. Don't let people give you another gospel. Don't let people give you another truth. And then he closes out this letter by promising them a place in heaven, in the New Jerusalem, and he gives them some promises that are basically, in my opinion, unexplainable and unbelievable. Because, you know, we have no idea what this city of gold is going to be like. I think we read it, but in the natural, we can't just fathom the size, because the size of it is like 1,300 square miles. That's like from here to New York City, you know, over 1,300 miles, back up there. I mean, like basically would sit in the whole half of almost half the United States, the New Jerusalem. And then, you know, the greatness of what we are going to see. And God just gives them promises that are just unbelievable. So this church, once again, the Church of Philadelphia, the only one that got commendation, the only one that didn't get spanked, the only one that didn't get into trouble. Very interesting to see how the Lord made such great statements to them about their faith and about their love and about their history, and the fact that Jesus did not include any correction to them at all. Don't you wish the same could be said about you and I, right? All right, well, it was great to have you today. Join me for coffee with the pastor, and tomorrow we will go into part 10, And we will be looking at the church at Laodicea, the lukewarm church, the spit you out of my mouth church. And we'll talk about that letter tomorrow. So just a reminder that we're broadcasting Monday through Friday, 8 to 8:30. About is Coffee with the Pastor. And we're doing some broadcasting in the evening. And Pastor Eddie is Sunday night at 6 o'clock. And we are starting our church service on Sunday, our one service only at this time at 10 a.m. We're moving to a new hour at 10 a.m. and we'll be broadcasting live. So we're going to go, back an hour. We're all standing around chomping at the bit to get to go to church, and so we're going to do that. We're moving till 10 o'clock. So just to let you guys know, and please continue to pray. There's about 20 people that I know of that have the coronavirus, and we're just continuing to ask you to pray for all of these people. Let me just pray for you. Father, in the name of Jesus, I pray for everybody watching me today, live this morning, and even down the road as they watch these videos. God, that you would place your hand upon us. Lord, that you would touch us. God, that you would use us. I pray your keeping power on each and every one of us. Lord, keep us in divine health. Lord, keep us in the palm of your hand. And God, that you would use each and every one of us today, this day, no matter where we go in all of our travels, no matter who we talk to. Lord, put us in places where we can be a minister for you. Just to invite someone to church or to give them a good word, to encourage them. God, use us today. And we thank you for it. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, God bless you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow morning for Coffee with the Pastor.